Give me your list, and let's do this. 888-957-9570. You got the Xfinity mobile text line. You've got Twitch and YouTube, obviously, powered by First NorCal Credit Union, and you're all welcome to join in on the party, as always, and talk this out. Go through it. Give me the quarterbacks around the league. How many are you naming before you get to Brock? And again, the question is not resume.
Sure.
The question is not who's more accomplished, who's more established. The question is, who would you rather have as the 49er quarterback over Brock Purdy? How many names do you get to?
You sent this on the text as I was walking down to get a falafel, so my list is a little bit out of order. I didn't do it in terms of division or my overall ranking, but the 11 names I put down, because you said name 10 QBs you'd rather have. And I
said convince me, yeah.
Yeah, convince me he's not top 10. Name 10 you'd rather have. And you said you can only come up with 6, although 4 are close.
I've now come up with 7.
I've accidentally listed my own 11.
List. Okay, that's fine. That's fine.
Mahomes, Allen, Hurts, Herbert, Tua, Lawrence, Cousins, Stafford, Lamar, Burrows, and Deshaun Watson. Those are my 11.
Okay.
And I kind of put Cousins in the middle to try to maybe slide it by the goalie, because that's the one I'm probably least convinced about. Stafford is also maybe a little bit of a borderline, but the other 9 I feel really good about.
Well, here's one of the reasons.
Really good,
Well,
Mark.
Here's what we're bringing. I'm glad you feel good.
Had to reiterate.
I like it when you feel good.
This is a reiteration.
I feel good
sensation.
today, too.
Good.
Here's why we're saying this. And this is part of the Edge podcast via Bleacher Report. Micah Parsons. This is one of the best defensive players in the league. So for me, when he says this, we can immediately wrap up into a ball all of those media takes from the last one. Oh, well, Brock Purdy is ranked 32nd. No, he's not, because people who actually chase quarterbacks around for a living think you're wrong. The idea that Brock Purdy was behind people who had never played football before, C.J. Stroud, Anthony Richardson, ... Bryce Young, that was ludicrous. It still is. But when Micah says this, it raises your eyebrows, but maybe it shouldn't. Take a listen.
And I just don't think that we should sleep on Brock Purdy no more. Yes, he was a 7th-round pick. Yes, he came in late in the season and won 6 straight games, took him to the NFC Championship before his injury. But Purdy, you will not be slept on no more, brother. I think people are coming for you the same way they come for Rodgers, Patrick Mahomes. Yes, you are surrounded by a great team, but you are playing your butt off. You got one hell of a story, brother. If we were to rank Purdy right now, I would put Purdy around. I think Purdy's a top 15 quarterback. There's things that we still want to see from Purdy, not when Purdy's winning, but when Purdy's down. You know, I think the adversity aspect of the football game is huge. Learning how to play from behind, learning situational football. It's not something I'm saying he can't do. It's just something that we just haven't seen yet.
So I first heard this from Micah yesterday, and I went, okay, Micah. Okay.
All right.
Yeah. Micah, by the way, has got a bunch of stuff on the 49ers. I kind of like listening to all of it. I'm like, do you want to be a 49er, Micah?
Right.
Because you come on over here. You could be a 49er. Put you on the other edge. You and Nick.
Wow.
Come on, Cap Schmap. Let's go.
They could have had him.
$1 billion.
If it wasn't for Trey Lance, they would have had him.
Could have had him if it weren't for you sniveling kids.
Totally.
Anyway, so Micah says this, and I'm like, yeah, tell him. This is a top 15 QB. And then I started thinking about it this morning, and I went, I don't know that you can make the case that he's not. Like, it sounded almost like a hot take when he said it. And then I started to think about it, and I went, I think you would sound crazy at this point if you got to quarterback number 16 and you're taking that player over what this kid has accomplished and shown in his 8 or 9 games, however you want to quantify the whole thing.
Yeah.
His time in the NFL, where, again, other than the Eagles situation where he had one drive, the guy hasn't lost a football game, but to me, much more important are the pieces of his game that he's shown. I think the window is somewhere like you're irrationally loving Brock if you put him in the top 5. You're irrationally hating him if you put him outside the top 15. The window for me is somewhere between like 8 and 12, where I think it makes sense. You know, mine was a little bit shorter than yours. I got Mahomes, Lamar, Allen, Burrow, Herbert, Hurts, Trevor Lawrence, ball game.
Yeah, it's 7. It's 7 right there.
7 others.
Right.
So I would, for me,
right.
And this isn't a power ranking, those are the only 7 QBs that I would be like, yes, I would take that guy over Brock Purdy on the team right now.
And I think in terms of, getting to having him outside the 15, and I would take my 11, which included Deshaun, Stafford, Cousins, and Tua that you didn't have, and then you would have to add in the likes of Geno Smith, Derek Carr, Baker Mayfield, Justin Fields. Where else are we going to go in terms of finding 4 of the guys to round out your top 15 before you get to Brock? And that's why I stopped at my 11, and I felt like that's, the 11. There's a couple that are debatable, but honestly, if you look at the quarterbacks, and it's hard to separate track record from system, from upside, and all the rest of it.
Sure.
And Brock Purdy's never lost a game as a starter in the regular season, so he should be number 1. So go ahead and put him number 1 because he's never lost a game. But then you look at, there's some guys who've won Super Bowls, and, Aaron Rodgers sadly didn't make either list, and he would have had he not blown up his Achilles.
Probably. You do have to factor in. What is he? Is he 39?
Yeah.
Yeah. Listen, I know some people now, NFL circles, who were already out on Aaron Rodgers this year. Would he elevate him from Zach Wilson? Sure. But the idea that just plug in Aaron Rodgers and you've got this great receiver in Garrett Wilson and you've got the really good defense on the other end and boom, Jets are a Super Bowl contender. There were questions there. Aaron did not play great football last year for the Packers. He did not. And so this is not like done deal. Aaron is that guy. We know he has been. He's one of the greatest of all time. But we're talking right now, and I don't know actually if even a healthy Aaron Rodgers would elevate the 49ers from what we're watching Brock do with them.
Yeah, he'll be 40 in December.
Good Lord.
So
this injury is brutal.
Is it over? Is the question.
I would guess no, but
based on his contract, you got to fight back to at least try to get that paper one more time, even if you can't play.
Who knows if he'll do well when he gets back? But you know how it is. Like a great like that does not feel good as the way to go out. You don't want that to be the last image of your career. All the hype around the Jets and then 4 snaps. See you later. Brutal.
Yeah,
but it's a question. Doc Pandia, 4:00.
Yeah, I look forward to that, and I also look forward to talking to the people here at 888-957-9570 about what the Jets do in terms of a quarterback and are the Jets done and all the rest of it. But for the Niners, you hold your breath whenever you see that, knowing that an injury like that can befall you at any position at any time. But I do think that the Niners roster is torn Achilles proof in many ways.
Oh gosh, knock on wood, please.
Of course. I mean, I don't think they're cursed, but they do have a history of quarterbacks getting hurt. But if you look across the board and you look at like which player, if they sustain that injury, would hurt the most, I don't think that Brock Purdy's that guy for this team.
I know you feel that way, and I understand where you're coming from. And I do think the Niners can function better than maybe others could with their backup quarterback situation, kind of like I think the Saints are another team that could still function if Derek Carr goes down. Jameis Winston can function in the league, but I will listen. It's a debate. I hope we never have to get an answer to. I think the drop off is large because I think that Brock Purdy is one of the best young quarterbacks in the league.
Yeah, you got him in your top 8. Of all quarterbacks.
Well, again, it's not a power ranking of quarterback.
No, but in terms of quarterbacks you would take over him, there's only 7 you would rather have in the league than him.
Yeah, right here, right now.
So it is a power ranking in essence.
Right. Again, he's not more accomplished than Kirk Cousins, Dak Prescott. Although it's funny, you look at these guys and it's like, it's disrespectful to say he's already got more playoff wins than they do.
Than Dak and Kirk. Yeah.
Guys played 9 games. He's already got more playoff wins than some of these guys who
Dak and Kirk each have 1, right?
Right. And already got more playoff wins than these $40 million a year established NFL QBs. You know what I mean? And gosh, when we're putting this list together, how many of them in the NFC? Like, make a case for me that other than Jalen Hurts, Brock's not where you're going next. I know you have Stafford on your list.
Yep.
We talk about Dak Cousins, maybe Jared Goff. These are the only names you could even bring up.
I've got 3 of my 11 are NFC. Hurts and Cousins and Stafford. And that's it. And the other 8
and I think
are AFC.
2 of the 3 are debatable.
Well, and the 2 of the 3, you would probably rank 10th and 11th on my list. So you've got Hurts, and you would put him at 4 or 5 probably. You'd put him at 5 behind, the big 4 of Mahomes and Allen and Burrows and maybe Herbert or Lawrence. And then you get to Hurts and then more AFC. And then at the very end of my list, 10 and 11 would be the 2 other guys in the NFC.
By the way, that hit me also last night just watching that game, even though obviously the landscape has changed for the Jets, Jets. But you go through watching that whole weekend of football, right? And the Raiders are in first place, and you watch what happened to Joe Burrow and the Cincinnati Bengals, and you're looking at Deshaun, and he really wasn't that. I mean, that was a weird weather game, so I still wonder if Deshaun is ever going to look like he did with the Houston Texans. But you watch Trevor Lawrence come out and do what he did. You watch Tua put up 460-plus yards through the air with the Miami Dolphins, and you're just like, good God, the AFC does not stop. It flies at you. Look, Mahomes, Herbert, Burrow, Allen. None of them won a game.
Right.
They all went 0-1.
Man.
They all lost. These are the first, like, honestly.
And they lost to Tua, to Deshaun.
Right.
To hang in there, big guy.
Jared Goff, buddy.
Yeah.
And a combination of, really, Zach Wilson. Rodgers had 4 snaps.
Right.
Josh Allen lost to Zach Wilson. He more so lost
You need to put some respect on Zach's name.
Probably not.
Undefeated, better record than all those quarterbacks you named, all those highfalutin, high-priced guys.
And now you're going to get a serving of your own medicine.
Better record than Burrow.
Incorrect. Zach Wilson is 0-0.
No, his team. His team has a better record. That's all that matters. I'm a team guy.
Oh, now you're
so
a team guy.
fixated on the individual.
You're a team guy.
And I actually tweeted at somebody who was like, I guess Zach Wilson. I guess Aaron Rodgers.
I saw the tweet.
Aaron Rodgers is 1-0. I said, it's not my stat, guy.
Yeah, but you champion it. I saw your tweet. I'm like, but you trumpet it.
They're facts, bro.
But they're not.
You know, I trumpet reality, and that's the fact. And I'm not the one who comes up with these stats.
Like, Dibs,
I don't get to decide that,
Dibs,
Mark.
If you and I were sitting here during a break and you're bemoaning the boss, here
not
at
our boss.
95.7 The Game, you're like,
I'm high on our boss.
Yeah, but okay, fine, a former boss. Golly,
bury all of them.
I wanted to kill that guy. Should I call the authorities? Are we living by exact words? Does that mean you're actually going to kill him?
This analogy is terrible.
No, it's not. Aaron Rodgers does not. He did not play in that game. Does not.
3 words, Mark. 3 words.
Yeah.
1 and 0.
Yes, this is technically.
He got the dub.
Yeah, he sure did.
He gets the dub.